Okay, so today we're diving into something kind of cool. Um, do you ever wish you had like your own personal Wall Street whiz?
Especially if you're like even remotely interested in ETFs.
Yeah, this is AIDgo.
Oh,
And it's people are saying online it's like having those what are they? Those super in-depth like stock reports, but instead of like, all the jargon,
yeah.
it actually like breaks it down for you.
It makes it very accessible, right? Because
Hmm.
up until now, if you wanted that kind of analysis, you had to either, you know, be like really, really into the weeds of
Yeah, like
finance.
a day trader or something.
Yeah, exactly. Or pay an arm and a leg for it, right?
Totally.
And so this is really kind of changing the game.
Okay, so for those of us who like I'm raising my hand right now,
Yeah, yeah.
who don't speak, fluent Wall Street,
Right.
what is this in like plain English? What
Yeah.
is AIDgo?
So think of it like this. It's a platform, right? So it brings together real-time data, AI predictions, and you can actually, it's almost like a flight simulator for your portfolio.
Yeah.
You can actually test drive investment strategies without actually risking your money.
Okay, now that's a metaphor.
Yeah.
That I can get behind.
Yeah.
But is it hard to use?
Yeah.
Because like,
That's the thing. That's what's so cool about it.
okay,
You don't have to be a financial wizard to use this thing.
okay, good.
You literally, like, just talk to it.
Really?
Just like you and I are talking right now, you can ask it questions in plain English.
Get out.
Yeah. What are the hot ETFs right now?
Oh, kidding. So it's really like having like my own personal finance guru. Like,
Exactly.
wow.
Without all the awkward small talk.
Yeah, yeah. And without the hourly rate, right?
Or without the hourly rate.
Okay, I'm sold already. I'm sold. But let's get into it a little bit more. Like, what are some of the things that make this tool like so unique, so special?
Well, so it has this thing, it has like a personalized dashboard. So think of it like your command center. And on that command center, you can see market trends, you can track your favorite ETFs, and it'll even recommend new ETFs for you based on like your goals.
Okay, so it's not just like throwing information at you; it's like curating it.
Exactly.
Right,
It's curating it for you, yeah.
right.
And it gets even better. Like let's say you're really, really into green energy.
Okay, yeah, I was going to ask you about that. Like, what if
Uh.
you're interested in like green energy, or you only want to invest in like a certain a certain geographic location? Like, can you kind of like curate it that much?
You can.
Wow.
So you can tell it, I only want, like, I'm really big into sustainable investing. So just show me ETFs that have, like, what are they called?
Yeah, yeah.
The ESG scores,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
the environmental, social, and governance scores.
Right.
Right. So you can set it to only show you things like that.
Wow. That's huge. So it's like you're like filtering the entire stock market, essentially.
Exactly. You are.
Wow. To only be like showing you stuff that you actually believe in.
Exactly. Exactly. And because the market moves so quickly, right?
Yeah.
It has, you get real-time updates.
Oh, wow.
And you can set it up to give you personalized alerts.
Oh, cool.
So let's say there's a price swing on one of your favorite ETFs, you'll get like a little notification on your phone.
Oh, yeah.
Or if there's like a major market shift, or if the AI even thinks that there's something you need to know.
Wow, that's really cool. So it's like having like a 24/7
Yeah.
like watchdog
Exactly.
who's like looking out for you.
Exactly. I was talking to this one guy, and he was like, I always refresh my portfolio like every 5 minutes. And I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
you don't have to do that anymore.
That's too much. That's too much.
Yeah.
Okay, this is cool. So this is cool, but it also sounds like almost kind of overwhelming, right?
Well, that's where things get even more interesting.
Oh, okay. All right.
So they have this thing, it's called portfolio simulation.
Okay.
And what this allows you to do is test drive different investment strategies.
Wait, hold on. Okay.
Whoa.
So like, have you ever like thought about
Back up.
Yeah.
Portfolio simulation.
Yeah.
So you're saying like, how people always say, oh, I wish I had invested in Apple stock in the 90s.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Like during the .com, like would I be a millionaire if I had just invested in tech during the .com boom?
Right. And like you kind of have to guess, right? Like, I guess we'll never know.
Well, now you don't have to guess,
Okay.
because what you do is you create this virtual portfolio
Okay.
and you can go back in time.
Really?
Yes.
So like almost like a time machine, but for your portfolio.
It's exactly a time machine for your portfolio.
Get out of here.
And you can see how those picks would have performed during the .com bubble during the, 2008 crash last week, whatever you want.
That's incredible. You can play around with it, right?
Oh my
You
goodness.
can like put different ETFs in. You can do all this stuff without risking any money.
It's like a practice arena for your portfolio
Exactly.
before you take it to the real game.
And what's really cool is that it's because it's using all this data, it can actually use AI to give you a projection of how it thinks that portfolio would perform in the future.
Wow. Okay. So it's almost like
It's like a crystal ball.
it's like a little crystal ball. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. That's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
And speaking of learning, right? Because this is a lot of information, right?
Yeah. It is.
Like, even with all of this cool technology and stuff, if you don't know the fundamentals,
It's not gonna help you. Yeah.
it's not going to help you, right? So
You got to know the basics.
you got to know the basics, right? They have built-in educational resources.
Oh, that's great.
Like, they really thought of everything, which I love this about them, right?
I was gonna ask. Yeah, because I feel like if you didn't know anything about it
Yeah.
and you just you'll log on, it would be very overwhelming, I would imagine.
So they have tutorials.
Okay.
They have articles. They have, like, interactive guides on everything from ETF basics to, like, more advanced investing strategies.
Okay, so it's really for everybody, you're saying.
Solely for everybody.
Whether you're like, just starting out, or even if you think you're really advanced and you want to
Absolutely.
hone your skills a little bit more.
Whether you're a newbie or you're a pro,
Yeah.
they've got something for you. It's fantastic.
So it's almost like having like a tutor, a built-in tutor
Yes, exactly.
that kind of like meets you where you're at
Exactly.
and like grows with you.
Precisely.
That's awesome.
It's really, really neat.
Yeah. Okay, so we're talking about all this stuff, but like what does it all mean really?
Okay.
Like for the average person who's listening to this,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like most of us aren't,
Right.
Day traders, we don't have time to be like,
Right. You're busy. You got stuff to do, right?
Yeah.
You're not spending all day like looking at charts and stuff.
No.
So here's the thing. This is where this is so powerful, right? Because it takes all of that complexity
Yeah.
and makes it accessible to everyone.
So
It's
cool.
like having that financial advisor
Right.
in your pocket
Without the fee.
without the fee. Exactly. And without having to like, schedule a meeting and all that kind of stuff.
So you're saying it's almost like democratizing like financial
Yes.
knowledge and making it so that everybody can kind of take control of their own.
And make decisions.
Yeah, exactly.
About their financial future, right?
Yeah.
Like you have the power to do that now.
Instead of feeling like you have to rely on somebody else to do it for you,
Yeah.
who may or may not have your best interests at heart. You know what I mean?
100%. And that's something that I think is so cool because for so long investing has been this kind of like
Exclusive club.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you have to have, $1 million to talk to somebody.
Right. Yeah. Or you have to know. You have to get in with the, the secret handshake or something.
Exactly.
Okay. So let's say somebody's listening to this and they're like, okay, this sounds amazing, but like, where do I even begin?
Yeah, okay.
What would you say to them?
So the best way to kind of wrap your head around it is it's a conversation.
Okay.
That's the best way I can describe it, right?
Conversation.
Instead of having to like go through, a bunch of different menus and try to figure out software, you talk to it like you would a person, or at least, a really smart AI,
Right.
and
So no more spreadsheets.
so
Like really?
you literally say things like,
Oh.
show me the top performing tech ETFs this year. Or how has the energy sector been doing lately?
That's so cool. But what if you need more than just like a quick answer? Like what if you're like, okay, that's cool, but now I want to like really,
Dig in.
dig in. Can you do that?
Yeah, so they have these things called custom analysis tools.
Okay.
So you can actually set criteria, right?
Okay.
So you could say like, okay, I'm really interested in, the renewable energy sector,
Right.
Just show me ETFs that have a high percentage of their holdings in solar, wind, whatever your criteria is.
So it's almost like having like your own personal little researcher.
100%. Yeah.
It's going out and like combing through all this data and be like,
yeah.
here you go.
And it gets super specific,
Like-
right? Like you can tell it, like, look at market cap, expense ratios, dividend yield, like you name it, right?
Wow.
You can get really, really specific.
So it's like a custom built like investment strategy almost.
It is.
Based on, your exact, like
Based on what you want. Exactly.
your needs and interests. Yeah.
But, and this is key, right? You're still the one driving.
Okay, good.
Like, it's giving you all this information.
Right, I was going to say, it's not telling you what to do. It's just
Exactly.
giving you suggestions.
It's giving you the information so you can make an informed decision.
Right.
It's not like, hey, go do this.
Okay, good.
That's
important.
it is. It's very important. You're still in the driver's seat.
Okay, so let's say I've done all this. I've found, a few ETFs that I'm interested in. I've done my research, and now I'm ready to actually, take the plunge and put some money on the line. This is where this whole like portfolio simulation really comes in handy, right?
Exactly, because this is like the test drive.
Yeah.
Before you buy the car.
I like that.
Right.
Yeah.
You can take it for a spin. You're like, okay, these are the ETFs. Let me throw these into my virtual portfolio.
So instead of like, putting the money in and just crossing your fingers and hoping it works out, you can actually kind of see how it might perform based on,
exactly
past data.
Yeah, and you can look back and you can look back at your own investing history.
Right.
And be like, man, I wish I had this back then.
And again, this is all like, you're not actually, like, this is all safe. You're not losing real money. This is all...
It's like a video game.
It's like a game. Okay, good.
Yeah, it's a game.
Okay.
But it's real world data.
Yeah, it's like gamifying it.
Yeah.
But it's still, like, it's using real information, so you're actually learning.
Real information, exactly.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Okay, so far this is great. It sounds super, super powerful, all this stuff. But I have to ask, because I think this is on a lot of people's minds, like, what does this mean for the future of, like, actual financial advisors?
Right.
Like, are we all going to be replaced by robots at some point?
That's the million question, isn't it?
Right, yeah.
Will AI replace financial advisors?
Right.
Probably not entirely.
Okay.
But it's definitely going to change things.
So it's not like they're out of a job. It's just like their job is changing a little bit.
It's evolving, right? It's like AIDgo can be that super smart assistant for not just, the everyday investor, but also for the financial advisor.
Okay.
Right. So now, instead of the advisor having to spend all their time, like, digging through data.
Yeah, all the boring stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
They can focus on
the stuff that AI can't do yet.
Which is it?
Like building relationships,
That's right.
Actually understanding what their clients are, like what their dreams are, what their goals are, what's important to them. Maybe helping them navigate the emotional side of investing, right?
Right, because it's not just about numbers.
No, not at all. It's very emotional. People, they want to retire early. They want to,
You get greedy or you get scared or you...
Exactly.
Yeah.
And those are things that, like, even though AI is getting really good,
Yeah.
it's probably not going to...
It's not there yet.
Yeah.
So the human element's still important.
I think it's more important than ever, and I think tools like AIDgo actually make, like, the human advisor even more valuable.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Because now you can say, okay, I've got this amazing technology that's giving me all this information,
Right.
but now I can actually use that to then provide, even better, more personalized advice.
Right. It's like, it's not man versus machine. It's man, like, with the machine.
With the machine, exactly.
Working together.
And that's the exciting part, I think.
Totally. Well, this has been an awesome, awesome deep dive. I feel like I've learned a ton. Any final thoughts for our listeners who are probably like, okay, I need to check this out right now?
If you're even a little bit curious, like, just try it. That's the best way to really, like, wrap your head around it, is to just kind of get in there and play around with it. And who knows, maybe it'll completely change how you invest.
I love it. All right. Well, thanks for joining me on this deep dive into, wow, AI-powered ETF analysis.
Yeah.
Who knew? It's clear that things are changing quickly, but like you said, that's not necessarily a bad thing. And with these tools like this, like AIDgo out there, we can all kind of ride that wave and hopefully, make smarter decisions and all that good stuff. So until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.